If you guys have ever overpacked, forgot your headlamp, or slept freezing in the woods, then this video is for you. What's up everybody? Welcome back to the Taste of Outdoors. Today I'll be covering the camping and backpacking essentials that I never leave the home without. There's been a few times that I've packed up the camp early because I did not pack in the right sleeping bag and it was just too cold, or I did not bring in my saw and I couldn't gather any firewood, and that time that I forgot my cooking pot and I had no food to cook or eat. So today I'm here to save you the hassle and show you exactly what you need to have a successful backpacking or camping trip. Let's start with the backpacking essentials and the big three. First up being the sleep system. So a good sleep system is of utmost importance when you're in the backcountry. Picking the right rating for your sleeping bag and where you're going to camp is very important. This one in particular is a 20-degree sleeping bag. I use this exclusively during the warmer months of the year, but it all depends on where you're going to go to camp. The temperature rating on the sleeping bags is not really accurate. There's only a couple brands out there that come anywhere close to their advertised ratings. This one right here is from REI and it's rated to 20 degrees. I consider this anywhere from 30 or above. A good rule of thumb is to give yourself a 10-degree temperature buffer. So if your bag is rated for 10 degrees, that basically means that you can only be comfortable up to 20 degrees. So giving yourself a 10-degree buffer is very important. Next up is my sleeping pad, and I use the Thermarest Neo Air. By far, this has to be the most comfortable sleeping bag that I've ever slept on. All the branded sleeping bags come with an R-rated, and what R-rated means is how insulated it's going to keep you from the cold ground. The rating number ranges from 1 to 7. If you're in warmer climates, you don't really need that much insulation from the ground, so anywhere from a rating of 1 to 3 is fine. But if you're in a colder climate and you need a lot of insulation from the ground, any R number from 5 or above should be good for you. Also, having a good sleeping pad gives you a good night's rest in the backcountry. And once you've done a few trips that you've slept on the hard ground, you truly appreciate a good sleeping pad. Trust me. Also, this is optional, but it is very comfortable to have an inflatable pillow. This one is a Sea2 Summit Aeros Ultralight pillow. They're fairly inexpensive and barely take any space in my backpack, so I usually throw one in there. Next up is our shelter. Same as the sleeping bag, having a good shelter is crucial in the backcountry. I personally use a Mountain Hardwear 2-person tent. It's super lightweight, weighs only about 2 pounds. Even though this says a 2-person tent, this really is just a 1-person tent. 2 people can fit in there, but it's going to be very tight. And depending on where you're going to go camping, it is very important for you to know if your shelter can withstand a heavy rainstorm, a snowstorm, or even a high wind situation. Nowadays, there's tons of shelters out there that are much better than this. Now, if I'm going in some hot weather camping, I might take my hammock or my tarp. But if I'm going in some cold weather camping, I usually take my Mountain Hardwear Nimbus tent. The last of the big three is your backpack. All of these things are only useful if you can pack them and carry them with you. And that's where your backpack comes in play. Now, picking a backpack is completely dependent on the duration of your trips. I usually do overnight camping or multi-day camping trips, and I personally use the Osprey Atmos 65-liter backpack. So if you guys are ever planning an overnight trip or a multi-day trip, this backpack is perfect for you. A couple things to consider when you're picking a backpack is the fit. The fit is basically how well the backpack hugs your back and what type of a carrying system the backpack is built with. My backpack usually weighs anywhere from 30 to 35 pounds. I needed the adjustable shoulder straps, and the hip belts help with the heavy loads that I carry during my backpacking trips. The second is the capacity of the backpack. Now, if you guys are going on a single day trip, then anywhere from 30 to 40 liters should be plenty. But if you guys are going on an overnight trip or a multi-day trip, anywhere above 50 should be good for you. So you pick and choose based on your personal preference and your trip duration. Now onto our cooking essentials. There's many different ways that you can do this, but two of the most popular ones are using an isobutane canister or using open wood fire. If I'm using the isobutane canister, I generally tend to use the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 camping stove. This one is extremely lightweight and packs in super small, which makes this perfect as an ultralight camping stove. As far as the canisters go, I don't really have a preference. I just pick anything that's readily available in the store. The other most popular way to cook is using an open campfire, and for that I always use a fire starting kit, which includes a ferrous rod, a lighter, and usually cotton dipped in Vaseline as my fire starters. I personally keep both in my backpack just as a backup, because you never know what might go wrong in the backcountry. So it's always safe to have a backup plan. For cooking, I generally use this stainless steel pot from Pathfinder, or I use this camping griddle that I made at home by using simple tools. This griddle is super lightweight and packs really easy in my backpack, and I take this with me everywhere I go. If you guys want to learn how to make this at home, I'll put the link in the description below. The other utensils that I carry with me are a titanium spork and a titanium plate. These are super lightweight and are very durable too. And this is my camping cup made out of pure copper. It's great because this is lightweight and a very good source of minerals too. Now, sometimes I go places in backcountry where there's plenty of water sources, but they need to be filtered. One way to filter them is to boil them. The other way is to use a filtration system. I use the Katahdin gravity filters. These things are absolutely amazing and weigh next to nothing. And they filter about 2 liters per minute, making them one of the best out in the industry. Now, during the warmer months when there's fresh food and you need to keep it from spoiling, that's where the Monty coolers are the absolute best. These coolers are extremely lightweight, pack super small, and keep your stuff cold for at least 50 hours. I've personally tried and tested this on a recent camping trip in the Arizona desert in over 100 degrees heat, and I was absolutely blown away on how cold everything was even after a full day's hike. If I'm not cooking on a wood fire, then I generally tend to use freeze-dried meals from either Peak or Mountain House. Having tools in the backcountry is also very important. The most important thing is having a knife. This thing can be used for multiple purposes, for cutting, peeling, and even doubles up as safety. This is also a knife that I made by myself. I'll put the video in the description below. Now, if you're trying to build a shelter or just cut firewood, then a saw comes very handy. So I always love to have at least one of these saws with me. This is a custom-made axe that I made by myself, and I generally carry this anywhere I go. Another very important thing, or if not the most important thing, is a medical kit. I carry a lightweight medical kit that has all the possibles in it. And I always also carry a Leuco tape, which prevents the blisters from forming. Next to that is my Nalgene water bottle that is always with me. And next to the water bottle is my pouch with all the camera equipment and lights and all of it. Obviously, that's one of the most important things for me, but that might not be the case for you. Now, depending on where I'm going backpacking, I take either one of these shoes. If I'm planning to go and hike someplace that has a lot of uneven surfaces, then I take my crispy Laponia 3s. But if I'm going to a place where there's even a little bit of trail, then I take my Ultra Lone Peaks. And lastly, for some of the miscellaneous items and also important to me are a camping cloth, a mosquito repellent called Thermacell. This is very important when you're in Texas or any warm weather climates where there's a lot of bugs. And a small box of fishing hooks, plastic baits, and anything fishing related. Alright, that's pretty much all of the things that I take backpacking, but you guys can adjust this based on your preferences and liking. You can add a few things, take a few things out, but everything you see here goes with me on a backpacking trip. Keep in mind, the more lightweight you are on a backpacking trip, the better. If you guys are ever going out in the nature doing hiking, backpacking, multi-day backpacking, it is extremely important for you to have some sort of a navigation and a communication system. In places where there is cell service, I generally tend to just use my phone and all the online apps that's available. But most of the places that I go, there's no cell service, and my Garmin InReach Mini 2 comes in handy. Using this, I can text message my wife, check in with my wife anytime I want, and my wife can also track all my movements with it. So make sure you guys are always trying to stay safe by carrying one of these things. And now for my camping setup, I'm going to use pretty much everything that I use for my backpacking except for my tent. I'm going to switch out my ultralight tent for a much more roomier camping tent. Throw in a couple foldable camping chairs, take bigger cooking pots rather than the small pot over here, substitute all my freeze-dried meals for some absolutely amazing campfire meals. You guys know how much I love cooking over fire. Maybe throw in a couple blankets and anything that you guys might be more comfortable using while you're camping out. So not much of a difference for me between a backpacking trip and a camping trip, but there's a few large differences. It can be very different for you than how it is for me. Filming this video today was perfect timing because I'm packing for an overnight camping trip in Georgia. So stay tuned for those videos in the upcoming weeks. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful to you for picking out the right camping gear for your trips. Let me know in the comments if you guys need any other recommendations, but hopefully this was plenty. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!